Here we are. We are all in ministry school. We've come with different backgrounds and goals, but I can tell you that each of us is very grateful for this experience and for each other and for all the support we have given and received throughout this journey. Kimberly is a very loving and peaceful soul. If you know her, you know that. And a warrior of love. Capital W, capital L. Her spiritual focus is on supporting people during the process of death and dying. And she feels very connected to angels and has brought us the Hosting the Angels experience. So she'll be talking about that in a minute. Nicole is a very loving and creative soul. She facilitates a sacred writing circle every other Wednesday here at Circle, and raises funds for Circle by reading oracle cards at the Awaken Expos. And I can personally attest that she's quite good at it. Thank you. She has very meaningful relationships with several archangels, which you just heard about. And I have been blessed to have reconnected with Circle via Zoom, mostly in recent years, and in person when I can. I first came to Circle in 1999, and I can honestly say that it has shaped my life. I am a Reiki master and feel very connected to both crystals and angels. We are thrilled to present, and we're going to start with Kimberly.
Thank you.
And take it away.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kimberly Hawthorne, and I am a Reverend in training, and I'm a little bit excited and nervous. Okay. So I had the most salubrious experience hosting the angels for the first time over a decade ago, and it left an indelible impression on me. So I'll be sharing a few of my experiences with you today with hosting the angels, which I hosted them the last week in August of this year. First, I'd like to read what angel hosting is. Experience transformative power of hosting angels in your sacred space for 7 meaningful days. This gentle spiritual practice invites celestial guidance into your life through daily meditation, sacred offerings, and heartfelt intentions. Create a beautiful altar with a white pillar candle, fresh flowers, and meaningful objects. Spend at least 10 minutes each day in peaceful meditation, opening yourself to angelic presence and divine wisdom. Many participants report feeling profound peace, receiving clear guidance, and experiencing synchronicities that guide them toward their highest good. This sacred 7-day journey has been passed from host to host, creating a beautiful chain of spiritual connection and growth. When your week concludes, you'll have the opportunity to share this gift with someone special in your life, continuing the circle of divine love and guidance. Okay, and so if you are interested in sharing the angels, we'll send you an email with instructions. And what you need to keep in mind is that you should identify who you're going to send the angels to next when you first start, okay? So I'll tell you about my experiences, just a few, not all. So the day one, we have to open the door. I had my candle, my altar set, lit the candle, had my white flowers, and then I open the front door and I say a prayer welcoming the angels in. And then I sat with them for 10 minutes, meditated, prayed. And during that time, I actually sent them Reiki, because I'm a Reiki master as well. And a few minutes after that, they sent me Reiki back. And I felt it in my chest and in my heart. And it just felt so good and comforting and peaceful. So that was one of my experiences. And I did that every day. So I had a chance to feel that. Another day, I sat with the angels and they told me I needed to pull out my tongue drum, which I'm not, I love instruments. I buy and I have a lot of different ones, but they told me to pull it out and start practicing. And I didn't know why, but I did. I listened and it was just such a beautiful experience. Also, that during that time, I picked up my phone at the end of practicing and I saw the time and it said 444. I said, wow, what synchronicity? What does this number mean? So I looked it up and I saw divine protection, clarity and decisiveness, and validation that I am on the right path. Whew. The angels let me know also that they are near and that they are ready to offer support and unwavering protection. And all I have to do is call on them. How awesome is that? So this next day, on another day, I had some errands to run. So I asked the archangels to come with me throughout my day so they can support me and guide me and help me. And they did. I went to a store. On my way out of the store, I stepped into the street, the parking lot. I was looking for my car. I usually have problems finding where I park. So our angels helped me with this. And it was a bright, beautiful, sunny day, just like it is today. And I looked up and I saw this wind swirling and I focused and I saw that it was paper. But then when I took a closer look, it was US currency floating, swirling around. So it felt like, you know, the wind tunnel where the money, so I grabbed it. I was with a friend of mine and she's like, well, there's some down there too. So I got down there and I got it. And I'm looking and these are $20 bills in my hand. I looked around after I grabbed them and I counted them. I looked around immediately to see whose could these belong to? You know, did someone drop it? Did I see someone that looked frantic? Were they, upset? I didn't see anyone at all. So I said, thank you, angels. And then I looked up 120, and that too was a message that that said, I'm on the right path. So I thought that was good. And then I have one more story. I was working on a big business deal and it should have ended the end of August. This morning when I woke up this particular day and I lit my candle and I talked to the angels a bit and meditated, the word trust popped into my spirit. I didn't quite know what that meant at the time. However, later on in the day, this business deal that should have been solidified fell through. And when it fell through, I recognized that it was the angels that were protecting it. So I quickly gave them gratitude and thanks and praise for them. So they do exist and they are helpful and I just love them so. So that was my experience with hosting the angel.
That's amazing. I don't know how I'm gonna follow that though. She didn't tell us what the story was, so that was amazing. So I also hosted the angels. I hosted the angels on a day that I had put on my calendar per the angels. So sometimes I talk to them about stuff, and I forget what I asked them, but they give me an answer and I put it down and then I'm like, per the angels, what? You know? So I thought maybe this is the day I'm supposed to host the angels. And I'm glad I thought that because they definitely came in for me. So after a couple weeks actually, of dodging bad luck and negativity that seemed to come out of nowhere, I was ready for something to lift me up. Luckily, it was my turn to host the angels. Saturday, I set up my altar next to my crystal grid for peace by an eastern facing window. The direction of new beginnings, where the archangel of healing himself, Saint Raphael, takes charge. I placed 3 candles, mini white roses, and some feathers in a heart-shaped vase. As you can see, the heart-shaped vase, I'll lift that up for you guys to see. This is the heart-shaped vase. And you guys can all take a feather from here later. It was on my altar the whole week. My week to host the angels began on a Sunday. On my calendar, I'd already written per the angels, though I didn't really know what for. The plan was to start at 2 p.m., but I was restless. The struggles of the week had passed, but there was still this lingering energy that I didn't quite understand, and there was this prickly burning sensation between my shoulder blades. I could not settle. Since my shoulder blades are the place where Archangel Raphael usually comes in, I called on him and I complained. He showed me a symbolic representation of what was going on and helped me fill the area with light. But there was still just this one little unhealed area, and I continued to complain, and he's like, that's going to take a little time. So I said, okay. It was 3 o'clock by the time I got around to meditating. It was restful, but as soon as I was done, my energy felt jumpy. Where did this come from? I asked them. My answer came a moment later. I had a very human experience with someone that showed me where the negativity was coming from. I was upset and angry, but ended up grateful to know the source of the problem and to know my part in it. So Monday morning, I was drawn to do some angelic rituals that I hadn't done for a while, and to put a little water at my altar to absorb some of the negativity before I settled in to meditate. A little light angel came right at my third eye and offered encouragement. I recognized her as my guardian angel. Then I felt a great soft warmth all around me, and I saw a vision of numerous green and blue light beings. Their energy is hard to describe, but it reminded me of my sovereignty. And they just sat with me and witnessed my anger. And then together we made a plan to heal and release the situation. They prayed with me for the others involved and helped me to start that healing process. The rest of the week, I felt a lightness around me, and I was uplifted, even though I was still kind of struggling some of that negativity. I felt like the energy was dissipating by Saturday, so much so that I tried to skimp out on the closing ritual. I thought I had bought potted mini roses, and I was going to give that to the next person hosting. And when I gave it to her, who happens to be my mom, she reminded me about the closing ritual and asked, did you do that? And I was like, no. So I decided I better do it. Later that night, I did the meditation lying down because I was exhausted. I recognized Archangel Raphael's energy at my right shoulder. And I greeted him, even though that was an unusual place for him to be. And then he did something even more unusual. He came out in front of me, and he looked me in the eye. Out of fear, I had never looked an angel in the eye before, but I highly recommend it. But I looked into Raphael's eyes that night, and there was a comforting universe inside of them. I guess all I can say about the whole experience is that the angels continue to amaze me. No matter how many times I encounter them or what trials I face along the way, the angels always bring healing that lightens my load. So that was my experience hosting the angels, and I'm so grateful. I want to do it again. And go ahead, Jennifer.
Yes, that's two tough acts to follow. So, for my experience, I did set up a small altar, which most of which I have right here. I also had the flowers and a few extra crystals. I talk to angels every day and believe they're around each and every one of us every day. And I can say that when I was talking to that, meditating and everything in front of my altar, I did feel very peaceful. And it was during this week that I was hosting the angels that my father was admitted to the hospital. And when I asked the angels, when I was at the altar for support for him, I can tell you it was more profound than any of the other times that I have asked the angels, because I ask them every day to help them. But I was so moved, it helped me to just release all the anxiety with everything, let the tears fall, and it was very comforting in that moment. So that was my biggest experience, and it was quite healing for me. My dad is doing better, by the way. He's home, and I do believe the angels help. So I still ask them every day. So for my experience, I would say I would encourage you to set up, even if you don't do the whole formal hosting of the angels, if you designate or set up any small area to help you kind of focus and talk to the angels or whatever higher power you connect with, I find that helpful. And I would also say that, we've heard some incredible stories. If you don't have an incredible story, that's okay. Whatever you have is what's meant for you in the moment. So you're not doing it wrong. You don't need to fix anything. Just be open to whatever comes to you. So that's what we have to offer you.